To wear this face cover, just wrap each rubber band around your ears. Ensure that the face cover fits around your mouth and nose comfortably and that there is no gap left between the face cover and the mouth.
Jai Hind children. Last class we had discussed about biogeochemical cycles. Of that, two of them we studied, that is water cycle and nitrogen cycle. I hope you all understood the topics. Today we can continue with the same biogeochemical cycles. The another biogeochemical cycle is carbon cycle. So here you can see that carbon cycle. So what is carbon cycle? The repeated circulation of carbon. The repeated circulation of carbon in biosphere between its biotic and abiotic components is called carbon cycle. Once again, what is carbon cycle? The repeated circulation of carbon in biosphere between its biotic and abiotic components is called carbon cycle. So before going to explain that carbon cycle, first we need to understand where this carbon is found or its occurrence, where it is found. This carbon is found in various forms on the earth. So some of the carbon is found as in elemental form such as diamonds and graphite. In elemental form, carbon is found in elemental forms such as diamonds and graphite. Then this carbon is also occurring a combined state as carbon dioxide. Carbon is found in a combined state as carbon dioxide in atmosphere. Then this carbon is also found as carbonates and hydrogen carbonate. Hydrogen carbonate salts in various minerals. This carbon is found as carbonates or hydrogen carbonate salts in various minerals. Which minerals? Such as limestones, then fossil fuels such as coal, petroleum, etc. In that, this carbon is found as carbonates and hydrogen carbonate salts. Then this carbon is an essential component of all organic compounds such as carbohydrates, proteins, fats, nucleic acids and vitamins. And this carbon is also used by animals for making their endoskeleton and exoskeleton. That is, endoskeleton and exoskeleton of various animals are making their skeletal system with the help of these carbon salts. So these are the area in which carbon is found. Once again, what is carbon cycle? Then carbon is present in the various forms present on the earth surface and is found as elemental form, which is the elemental form of carbon, diamond and graphite. And it is also, carbon is occur in combined state as carbon dioxide in atmosphere. It is also found as carbonate and hydrogen carbonate salts in various minerals such as limestones, then fossil fuels such as coal, petroleum, diesel, natural gas, etc. And it is an essential component of all organic compounds such as carbohydrates, proteins, fats, nucleic acids, vitamins, and endoskeleton and exoskeleton. Endoskeleton and exoskeleton of various animals are formed because of the carbon salts. Next is the consumption of this carbon. For what purposes this carbon is utilized? One is for photosynthesis. All of you know that what is photosynthesis. So all photosynthetic organisms, they absorb carbon dioxide from their surroundings. That is, for example, some blue-green algae and all green plants, they synthesize food with the help of carbon dioxide. There is carbon, you know that. Here it is carbon. So here carbon dioxide combined with the water molecules to form glucose, isn't it? Glucose. Here also you can see that carbon. So this, for photosynthesis purposes, carbon dioxide is utilizing, their carbon is there and it is formed as glucose. Then all of you know that this glucose is absorbed by the plant, from the plants it is absorbed by animals, isn't it? And this glucose is break down into each and every cell of the animal body or in plant body and releases energy. So that is the purpose of carbon here in photosynthesis. Then another important thing is seepage of this carbon dioxide rich water. Carbon dioxide rich water that seep into the underground and into interior of the earth gives rise to carbonate rocks, or we can say as limestone. How this limestone is formed or carbonate rocks are formed under the earth? Because of the seepage of carbon dioxide rich water into the interior of the earth gives rise to carbonate rocks. So some amount of carbon is utilized for the formation of this limestone. Then some amount of carbon is used for making shells and exoskeleton and endoskeleton of animals. That is carbonate containing shells and skeletons of animals often settle down at the bottom of ocean and become covered by sediments to form fossils. That is, after the death of these animals, their shell or exoskeleton or endoskeleton that is formed because of this carbonate salts, then after their death, these settle down, their shells settle down where at the bottom of the ocean and become covered by sediments to form fossils. So for all these purposes, carbon is utilized or carbon is consumed for photosynthesis, for formation of the carbonate rocks and for the formation of shells and skeletons of animals. Thus carbon is utilized for various purposes. Now is the replenishment of carbon. So for various purposes carbon is utilizing, and how this carbon is again reaching to the environment or in the atmosphere. That is the replenishment of carbon. One process is through respiration. You know that all the plants and animals are respiring. So what happened during that process? So it is the respiration is the breakdown of glucose into energy either by aerobically or anaerobically. During this time, carbon dioxide is produced which passes back into environment. So all the organisms, they respire either aerobically or anaerobically. Anyhow, they are releasing which gas? Carbon dioxide is releasing. So that carbon dioxide is reaching where? Into environment. So thus carbon is again reaches where? Into the atmosphere. That is through the process of respiration. Second one is combustion. So during combustion, fuels burnt that provide energy for various needs like heating or for cooking or transportation purposes or for industrial processes. We are burning the fossil fuels. At that time also carbon dioxide is releasing, and here carbon dioxide is released as a waste product. Anyhow, carbon dioxide is released and that will reach where? Again into environment. And the last step is because of decomposition. So organic remains, the remains of plants and animal dead body that undergo decomposition through the agency of decomposers. You know that decomposers such as bacteria and fungi, because of them these animal body and plant body decompose. At that time also carbon dioxide is releasing. So this process, during decomposition process also carbon dioxide is releasing. So in this way carbon is again reaching where? Into the atmosphere. So one is by respiration, another one is by combustion, and another one is by decomposition. So there are different ways through which carbon is replenishing in the atmosphere, isn't it? But if this carbon dioxide is more in the atmosphere, then that will also lead to some of the harmful effects on the surface of the earth. So, because of large scale deforestation and industrial revolution and increased burning of these fossil fuels, that will lead to the release of some harmful gases. And these harmful gases that will cause a phenomenon called greenhouse effect, and that greenhouse effect is finally leads to global warming. So we need to study what is that greenhouse effect. So first, what is greenhouse? The greenhouse is a glass enclosure which is used for growing tropical plants in colder climates, even in winters. So it is a greenhouse is a actually it is a glass enclosure. So what is the use of that greenhouse? Growing tropical plants in colder climate, even in winters. That is, during winter season also they need a medium temperature, so that some of the tropical plants are grown where inside this greenhouses, so that they will get a medium temperature all the time. So these greenhouses, they trap the temperature from the atmosphere, and hence the temperature inside the glass enclosure will be much higher than the surroundings. Suppose the surrounding is with a colder climate, then also inside this greenhouse the temperature is higher, so that these greenhouses maintaining the temperature, and thus these plants will survive. These tropical plants can survive inside this glass enclosure. So that is greenhouse, and this greenhouse is related to a natural phenomena that is called greenhouse effect. How is it? Then how this greenhouse effect occur in our earth? You know that our atmosphere that acts as a glass house. So greenhouse glass house, no, similar to that, this atmosphere acts as a glass house. So they trap the heat energy. So it allows, this atmosphere allows most of the solar radiation to enter right up to the earth's surface. So the solar radiation or sunlight that reach where? On the surface of the earth. Then much of the radiation received by the earth's surface is reflected back towards to the outer space. You studied about that, isn't it? That is, for example, suppose this one is the earth's surface and here it is the sun, then you can see that this sunlight reaches the earth's surface and most of this light reflected back towards the outer space, isn't it? So here is the earth surface and here is the sun. Then the reflected back and towards where? Towards the outer space. But the atmosphere that does not allow the reflected radiation to escape. So who will prevent that? The prevention of this radiation is helped by certain gases present in this atmospheric region, such as carbon dioxide, then methane, this carbon dioxide, methane, nitrogen dioxide, CFC, that is chlorofluorocarbons, etc., which are present on this atmosphere, prevent the radiation to escape into the outer space. That means these gases trap this light energy. So what happened then? The prevented radiation keeps the earth atmosphere warm. And this entire effect is called greenhouse effect. And these gases are called greenhouse gases. Which are the greenhouse gases? Carbon dioxide, methane, nitrogen dioxide, CFC, that is chlorofluorocarbons. These all are known as greenhouse gases. So once again, how this greenhouse effect occur? Our atmosphere acts like a glass house. So this atmosphere allows most of the solar radiation to enter right up to the earth's surface. Like this, enter to the earth's surface. Then much of this radiation received by the earth's surface is reflected back. Here you can see it is reflected back. Where? Towards the outer space. So normally it happens like that, but during greenhouse effect, this atmosphere consists of these greenhouse gases. Which are the greenhouse gases? Carbon dioxide, methane, nitrogen dioxide, etc. If these gases are present in this area, they prevent the escape of these reflected heat energy towards the outer space. So what happened? Because of that, the radiations keeps the atmosphere warm, and that entire effect is called greenhouse effect. So much of the radiation received by the earth's surface is reflected back towards to the outer space, but the atmosphere does not allow the reflected radiation to escape. Radiation means heat energy. The prevention of this radiation is helped by which gases? Greenhouse gases such as carbon dioxide, methane, nitrogen dioxide and chlorofluorocarbons, which are present in the atmosphere. The prevented radiation keeps the Earth's atmosphere as warm. So this entire effect is called a greenhouse effect. Then how this greenhouse effect leads to global warming? So we studied that because of the greenhouse effect, there is greenhouse gases are there, isn't it? That is such as methane, carbon dioxide, etc. So the gradual increase in the level of these greenhouse gases, especially the carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, increasing level of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, that will lead to increase the temperature of the atmosphere also. And that finally leads to global warming. So we can conclude that the rising the temperature of surface of Earth and its atmosphere due to greenhouse gases is called global warming. So especially which gas in greenhouse gases? Carbon dioxide. So the rising of the temperature of surface of Earth and its atmosphere due to greenhouse gases is called global warming. That's about carbon cycle. Then another biogeochemical cycle, the oxygen cycle. So it is the repeated circulation of oxygen between biotic and abiotic components of atmosphere. So that is the oxygen cycle, repeated circulation of oxygen between the components of the biosphere such as biotic and abiotic, and that is called oxygen cycle. And where this oxygen is present or its occurrence, this oxygen is present in elemental form in the atmosphere. Oxygen is present in elemental form in the atmosphere as oxygen gas. That is, you know that 21% of the atmosphere is composed of what? Oxygen gas. And this oxygen is also occur extensively in combined form in the earth crust, where it is present in the earth's crust. That is in the form of oxides. They are present in the form of oxygen is present in the earth crust in the form of oxides of metals and silicon, such as metal oxides and silica oxides. They are present in the form of oxides such as metal oxides and silica oxides. Then in the form of carbonates, sulfates, nitrates and other minerals also we can see what? Oxygen. But they are present in the form of oxides in the earth crust, and they are present in the atmosphere as mainly as in gas form, that is oxygen. Gas form, 21% of the atmosphere is composed of oxygen. Then it is present in combined form in the atmosphere as carbon dioxide. oxygen is present in combined form in the atmosphere as carbon dioxide. And this oxygen is also an essential component of most biological molecules like carbohydrate, protein, the nucleic acids and fats. So when we observe the chemical formula of this carbohydrate, protein, nucleic acids and fat, we can see that oxygen is also an essential component of all these biological molecules. So in this form, oxygen is present in the atmosphere and also in the earth crust. Then how this oxygen is consumed, or in which processes oxygen is utilized, and how this oxygen is again replenished into the atmosphere. The first one is the usage of oxygen. So for what purposes oxygen is consumed or for using? The first one is for respiration. For respiration, oxygen is utilized. And you know that during respiration, what will happen? Oxygen is used for the oxidation of glucose. Glucose oxidize and release energy, carbon dioxide, water and energy. So for getting energy, the glucose become oxidized, and for that oxidation of glucose, that is called respiration, need oxygen gas. So majority of animals, we live only in the presence of this oxygen gas. The next one is combustion. For combustion also oxygen is needed. That is for burning of fossil fuels such as which one? Coal, petroleum, then this other petroleum products. For burning of all these fossil fuels, oxygen is required. Then the third one is atmospheric fixation of nitrogen. So we studied details of this atmospheric nitrogen fixation during nitrogen cycle. This atmospheric nitrogen combined with the oxygen to form nitrogen oxides. For that also oxygen is essential. So for respiration, for combustion, for fixation of nitrogen, for all these purposes, oxygen is very important. The next is replenishment of oxygen. How this oxygen is again come back to this atmosphere. That is returned to, this oxygen is returned to the atmosphere in only one major process, that is during photosynthesis only. No other processes. For example, you know that what will happen during photosynthesis? Carbon dioxide combined with the water molecule to form glucose, isn't it? That is C6H12O6, that is glucose. And along with this product, a byproduct is also releasing, that is the oxygen gas. So only through this way oxygen is returned to the atmosphere, so that the plants are essential in the on the earth's surface. So decrease the deforestation, otherwise we will lack this oxygen molecule, because only through the photosynthesis we are getting oxygen. So in presence of sunlight, and you know that the equation for photosynthesis, where in chlorophyll of the leaves this photosynthesis process occur. So oxygen is utilized for respiration, combustion, atmospheric fixation, but this oxygen is returned to the atmosphere through only one process, that is photosynthesis. Thus oxygen is combined with the atmosphere, again replenished into the atmosphere. Once again, the atmospheric oxygen that is present in the oxygen gas form, that is utilized for respiration, not only for respiration, for combustion, then nitrogen fixation, etc. And this respiration leads to the release of carbon dioxide and water, that is glucose breakdown. During respiration, glucose molecule break down to form carbon dioxide, water and energy. Of that, carbon dioxide and water is again utilized by the plants for photosynthesis. Then during photosynthesis, they produce a main product, that is the C6H12O6, that is the glucose, and the other byproduct is the oxygen. That is only during photosynthesis this oxygen is again returned back to the atmosphere. In this way, this oxygen is recycled between the biotic and abiotic components of the atmosphere. Then another layer is ozone layer. So we need to study about the ozone layer, its formation and their depletion. And what is the use of this ozone layer also. So you know that oxygen present in the atmosphere mainly in the form of O2, isn't it? Oxygen gas, a diatomic molecule. So oxygen is present in the air mainly as a diatomic molecule, that is O2. But the upper layer of our atmosphere that contain oxygen in the form of a triatomic molecule. So mainly in the atmosphere, oxygen is present in the form of a diatomic molecule, that is O2. But the upper layer of the atmosphere contain oxygen in the form of triatomic molecule, that is O3, and that is known as ozone. Ozone. And this ozone is a poisonous gas. But oxygen is not like that. Without oxygen we cannot live, isn't it? But this O3 is a poisonous gas. But in the upper layer of the atmosphere, this ozone forms a continuous layer. In the upper layer of the atmosphere, this ozone forms as a continuous layer. And there this ozone has an important role. That is, what is the function of this ozone? This ozone layer absorbs harmful UV radiations from reaching the surface of the earth, where they may damage many forms of life. That is, from the sunlight many radiations are coming of that UV radiations which are harmful to the living organisms which are present on the surface of the earth. So the damages to these living organisms are prevented by this ozone layer which is present on the upper layer of the atmosphere. So that is the function of this ozone layer. So what is the function of this ozone layer? This layer absorb harmful UV radiations from reaching the surface of the earth, where they may damage many forms of life. So once again, it is in the atmosphere, oxygen is present in the form of diatomic molecules, that is O2. But in the upper layer of the atmosphere contain oxygen in the form of triatomic molecule, that is called ozone, O3. Then O3, that is ozone, is a poisonous gas and it forms a continuous layer in the upper atmosphere. What is the function? This layer absorbs harmful UV radiations from reaching the surface of the earth, where they may damage many forms of life. So next is ozone depletion. So recently scientists have discovered that there is an ozone hole above the Antarctica, in the atmosphere above the Antarctica. So recently scientists discovered that there is an ozone hole. So what is that hole? It is not a hole. Ozone hole is the declining the thickness of ozone layer, that will leads to what? Ozone hole. It is the decline in the thickness of ozone layer. So there is a decrease in the thickness of the ozone layer where above the Antarctica. Okay, this upper layer of the ozone. Then what is the reason for this reducing the thickness of ozone layer? The reason is increase in air pollution, due to the increase in air pollution, especially the compound namely CFCs, that is chlorofluorocarbons. So the ozone layer is depleted or ozone hole is formed because of the increase in air pollution of that mainly the compound CFCs, that is chlorofluorocarbon. is the reason for the decreasing thickness of this ozone layer. And these CFCs these are carbon compounds. What is this chlorofluorocarbons? These are carbon compounds having both fluorine and chlorine. These are carbon compounds having both fluorine and chlorine is there, and these are very stable compound also and are not degraded by any biological processes. We cannot degrade this CFC. And where we are using these chlorofluorocarbons, mainly produced from the usage of refrigerators and ACs. So while these refrigerators and AC is working, this chlorofluorocarbon is producing, and that will reaching the atmosphere and upper layer of the atmosphere and gradually decreasing the thickness of the ozone layer. That is the reason for the depletion of ozone layer. Then how they are reacting there? Once these chlorofluorocarbon, they here means chlorofluorocarbon, once this chlorofluorocarbon reached the ozone layer, they would react with ozone molecule and result in a reduction of ozone layer. So thus in this way ozone layer is get depleted. Then what are the consequences of this decreasing the thickening of ozone layer? So due to the decrease in thickening of ozone layer, UV rays can easily reach the Earth's surface. So what are the effects of this UV rays if it is reached on our Earth's surface? These UV rays reach the Earth and cause skin cancer, then that will harm the eyesight, even blindness will occur, then that will weaken our immune system and reduce the yield of crop plants, and it also affect the growth of aquatic plants and animals. That means that will affect the whole living organisms and also microbes, etc. So while if this ozone layer is continuously decreasing their thickness due to this air pollution, that will affect the whole living organisms on the Earth's surface. How they are affecting? These UV rays reach the Earth and cause skin cancer, that will harm the eyesight and weaken our immune system, that will reduce the yield of crop plants, and it also affects the growth of aquatic plants and animals. That's about ozone layer. Let's wind up today's class with a recap. So what are the things that we studied today? So we studied about, first one is oxygen cycle, then carbon cycle. In carbon cycle we studied about greenhouse effect, then global warming, then after that oxygen cycle, then finally we studied about ozone layer, then ozone layer depletion, and what are the consequences of these UV rays. Hope you understood. Read the text and study well. Jai Hind and thank you.